Rain access solutions.
Another thing is that you can install Acronis to back up your SSD's partition so that if anything happens to your SSD, you will still have a working backup. And I think this is an integrated software suite that allows you, it says here to back up your entire disk, which is very good, right? Instead of having to get another SSD to clone your hard drive, your SSD, you can save this to, you can save your an ISO copy of your SSD to a separate drive. Okay, that was from the last upload in which I was discussing how you can check for your Kingston SSD using the Kingston SSD Manager. Now, there is an option in there in the tab sections where it says backup your SSD by downloading Acronis through image for SSD or Kingston SSD Manager. So right now I have downloaded that and had it installed in my computer. So as you can see, it's now backing up the entire disk or SSD disk into another disk. And the total size of that SSD is around 250 gigabyte, but the files including the OS and the programs and some of the partitions for OS have been like compressed into a TIB file which has like around 85 gigabyte, and as you can see it's done. And if we check it out, here is the TIB file, but here it says TIBX, meaning the extension is with letter X, and as you can see, every files in the partition from the SSD, from the Kingston drive, have been compressed into a single file. And later on, you can extract this TIBX file or backup file into a hard drive or an SSD of your choice. And here is the latest activity. If we click the recovery tab, hold on. So sometimes it may take a while, so you'll just have to wait for it to finish reading. So I just selected the recovery, and there you go. We're going back. We went back to activity. And if you want to know how to recover, for example, your backup file, you may have to insert another SSD to your computer via some sort of dock. And after that, you can, this Acronis True Image for Kingston SSD will recover all your files and OS the way it was originally set up before. So let's go ahead and click the recovery. Now you can see the disk is selected, meaning this is the whole disk that has been backed up. And if you click the other tabs, like this in the middle, the partition, you can select the partition only if you have backup the partition only, or if you have backup selected files, then you can click the file tabs. But for me, I actually selected the entire disk, its whole partition, and back it up. So here is how we're going to restore this. You need to check that to select the backup, and we're gonna have to wait for it. for the destination disk to show. So there you can actually select from multiple lists of this. So the left side is your source of where the files, where your backup is. And as you can see, I cannot select any of those three underneath because I actually selected the whole disk as a backup. Now I'm going to select the hard drive where I saved the backup. And if you notice at the bottom, there is a red icon there and saying that you cannot restore the backup to the disk where you saved the original file or the .ibx file. So you will have to find or select another SSD or disk where you can extract that backup. As you can see, I selected this disk which has two partitions. Now Acronis will not care whether you have two partitions on that particular selected disk. So it is still saying red, so I'm going to select the other one. Okay, so if you have two, hold on. Let's wait for its partitions to show up. So in this disk that I selected, it has two partitions. So as I'm saying earlier, the Acronis will not care if that disk has two partitions or more. Once you restore the backup file to that disk, then the partition will change based on, because we previously selected the whole disk, right? And then this disk will assume the size of that disk. And if you click the restore now, then things will just continue normally. But if you want to check other option, you need to click that button that I just clicked here, recovery options. I didn't have to play with those options because I don't have to restore this backup yet. But if you wish to add a new backup, or if you want to see how I created it earlier, so you just click this part here, add backup, and then add a name on that new backup. And once you have that, you need to select which disk or partition you're gonna be doing a backup with. So I'm going to select that C drive, which is the Kingston SSD, and select the entire disk. So after that, you will have to look for the destination folder where you want to save your backup to. The NAS option and the Acronis Cloud is not available in this version, so you will have to select your local disk to place our backup to. And there you go. I just selected that, and there is another option in there at the bottom. It says create an Acronis survival kit, where if you selected this and create a survival disk, you will need to save both the backup file in that disk and the bootable survival kit. So we're not going to do that at the moment because we are just concerned with creating a file or a physical file backup, which will contain all the information about your main disk. So right now I started the creation of backup, and it's going to calculate first the size of the intended backup. After that, it will just continue with the creation of the backup. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. I hope you find this video useful. If you do find this video useful, please subscribe and like this video and leave your comments in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching. Have a nice day everyone. Goodbye.